Hi guys, my name is Gaurav Singh. I am the host of the show Speak with GRV. Speak with GRV is an online talk show where we cover amazing journeys of individuals who were once where most of you are today and who are today where almost all of you want to be tomorrow. If you are someone who is from an ordinary college and now you're thinking that it will get really tough to get placed into your dream companies, you are right. If you are someone who could not pursue their further studies or could not go to their favorite college, and now there's a constant thought going in your head that how will you compete with others because now it has really got tough, even in that case, you are right. But then there is one thing that you need to know. If you have this one ability and just one ability to work hard over a consistent period of time, then these above two hurdles would not even matter. We were really glad to host Shashank Mishra as our very first guest on our show, Speak with GRV. Shashank is a pure personification of sheer hard work and consistency. He comes from a very humble background. Despite being a very bright student, he could not pursue his IIT dream just because of financial crunches. There was a time when he used to cycle for 40 kilometers to go to his coaching, and the pain from cycling that distance was so much that sometimes he would get down in the middle of the road and cry. But Shashank knew that if he wants to take himself and his family out of this situation, he has to work really, really hard. And he did work hard. Shashank not only cleared one or two, but three dream companies. First Paytm, then McKinsey and Company, and then the company that rejected him twice and is one of the most prestigious organizations to work for in the world, Amazon. In this interview, we have covered Shashank's entire journey through his college, his experience at Paytm, McKinsey, and then finally at Amazon. Today, we are announcing the first part. So, let's get started. Hi guys, welcome to the show Speak with GRV. I'm your host Gaurav, and today I'm joined by Shashank Mishra, who has recently made it into Amazon as data engineer. So first of all, Shashank, thank you so much for doing this interview. It is going to help a lot of people. And secondly, congratulations for making it into your dream company.
Thanks, Gaurav. Thanks a lot for having me here. And that's really good, and that's a really good initiative from your end too to connect with such peoples who have made it into good companies and like the struggle they have faced, and you are communicating it to the viewers. That is really good initiative, and I really appreciate it. And I'm really happy to be a part of it.
Thank you, Shashank. Thank you so much. And I will give you a data. For example, I was seeing that every year 1.5 million engineers pass out. So these are the people who actually become eligible for job. But there was a study conducted by McKinsey, and that's the company that you have also worked for, that only 6 to 7% of them are employable. So we have people who are eligible, they have degrees and certificates, but when it comes to real life skills that they should have, in order to work for a company, 94% of them are not eligible, and that is really a concern, right? Because if you cannot make it into IITs or NITs or the great institutes, then it has actually become really difficult for an individual to get that right job. One being because of not having that right education system, and secondly because that guidance part is not there. So what we are trying to do through this platform is interacting with people like you who knew that what path to take, and then so that you can guide those people.
Yeah, completely agree with your points, like the data and percentage you mentioned. I completely agree on that. Yeah, folks who didn't make to IITs or NITs, they really face difficulties to get a job. So, and yeah, there are lots of means issues related to it, like why they are not able to get a good job or why they are not able to get into a good company. So yeah, that's really a good thing to convey these topics and these things, like how they can improve, what they should do. Because I'm a person who who had this dream to be a part of IIT, right? But because of financial crunches and all that, I wasn't able to make it because, yeah, if you want to crack like good IITs and ITs, you should have a like good coaching environment where you can learn from the mentors and you will get a good rank, right? So this thing really matters. So because of the financial crunches, I wasn't able to do that because my father is a normal taxi driver, right? So his income was like it was kind of just fulfilling our basic needs. That's kind of income he was getting, right? So even when I did my 10+2, I wasn't sure like what would be my career path. Like I was not sure what should I do, what should I look for, what course is good, because lots of things like you have like multiple directions of being a 10+2. You are very very young, you are like you are immature, right? You cannot think on that right direction without having a good
guidance,
leadership or guidance or mentorship, right? So I didn't have this at that time. So whatever I have done till now, that is completely by my own. And yeah, whatever the guidance or mentorship that I have got in that, I got in the industry, not like even my graduation, not even my masters. So whatever like till the point when I was into the companies or I started cracking the companies, I did everything by my own. Yes, after that, I was very fortunate enough to got good mentors like and good team leads who guided me really well and supported
so Shashank,
me
we would like to know, how did this actually start? From the start, our viewers would like to know. For example, you have done your you started as a BCA from Lucknow University, then you did your MCA, and then you started working. So talk us through your background before making it to Amazon, how that path was.
Yeah, so how it started, like I did my 10+2. I was really good in science, like physics, mathematics, and chemistry, and I was really liking it. And even at that point of time, my dream was like to be a PhD scholar sort of guy, right? So I was.
So you were a studious student from the very beginning.
Yeah, actually. So like I got a good percentage in my 10+2 as well. So like everybody was hoping, even my parents, like yeah, this kid is studious, and even I was dreaming for that. Like I'll do a BSc from PCM and then MSc, and we'll crack NET GRF and we'll look for PhD kind of thing, right? So, but as I said, even in parallel, like this thought was also in my mind, like cracking IITs, AI EEEs, and like be a part of it, and then like take my future further from that. So lots of things were going on my mind at that point of time. So I just talked to my father, like I want to prepare for IIT, IEEE. So he like I said, he said, yeah, just go ahead. Like, what's the problem here? So he said, like I would have need like around 1 lakh, more than 1 lakh rupees to for the coaching of IIT, right?
Fees, yeah.
And yeah, he took a pause of 3-4 seconds and said, yeah, no issues, I'll arrange that. Don't worry about that. So, but I could imagine, I could feel like what was going on in his mind while saying, yeah, I would arrange that. So instantly, I just dropped that thing and I said, don't worry that I like in government studies, yes, I can learn things, I can explore things, and let's see how it goes. Just let me try it by my own. I'll try to make my own way. Let's see how it goes. So at that time, yeah, I decided to take admission in Lucknow University. Like fees was very low, around like 7-8K for a year. And even at that point of time, I was thinking I'll apply for BSc, like physics, chemistry, maths. And I took a bus and I was going to submit the form. And in the meantime, what I thought, like I don't know about computers anything. Like till 10+2, I just used to like use my laptop or computer just to play the games. or
Okay.
draw the arts. That's
So
it.
till that time, you had no idea of coding and anything. It only came
No.
afterwards. Yeah.
I just used to play Need for Speed
Okay.
and GTA. That's it. That was the only thing I was used to know about the computers. I
Mhm.
didn't know what the programming is, even not even the basic fundamentals of CS, right?
Okay.
So I thought I should look forward for this field like computers, because
Mhm.
there was a combination in Lucknow University where I could opt for mathematics, physics, and computer science. Right?
Right.
I was happy uh, that computer science is there, but at least physics and mathematics is there. Like I'm really comfortable with these two things, so I'll be really happy to opt this combination, because at least for 2 years I'll be learning computer science in parallel as well. And in third year, if it didn't work for me, I'll drop it. Means
Right.
we'll go ahead with physics and maths. So that's how, like, in while I was traveling to university, I simply took another form and filled it for the group, and that is physics, maths, and computer science. And I submitted it. Fortunately, I got the seat as well
Mhm.
in like a general category, like without paying extra money and all that, right? So yeah, that's how like I jumped into this computer science field. And as you already know, what is the scene for these typical government universities, like what are the
Right.
facilities and what kind of education, what kind of curriculum they are following.
Right.
So it was really hard for me, really hard for me. So like my entire graduation, I took this computer science very lightly. I was learning the codes, like even to convert this centigrade to Fahrenheit. I was
Mhm.
learning everything just to crack the paper. That's it. Like I didn't like learn anything in perspective of career path. I was just
Just for
learning
the
or
sake.
reading
Right.
everything.
Just for the sake of doing,
Yeah,
like.
learning or reading everything just to passing the exams.
Right.
I like didn't feel like what this data structure. They were linked list, and I was like, what is this? I was just like copy pasting everything on my mind so that I could clear the exams. So that this was the thing like happened in my entire graduation. But
Okay.
when I was in third year, and my then I got like very serious about my career, because I wasn't able to make any decision like now what next, because my graduation is about to end, and
Mhm.
what next, like, and that was forcing me for like appear or apply for government jobs and in defense services.
Exactly.
So like there was a lot of pressure on my mind at that point of time. And maybe at that point of time, I was really fortunate that I was sitting in my class,
Mhm.
and I got a paper cutting where it was written like a girl from Lucknow University scored a second rank in UPMCA, right? So that triggered my mind actually, because when I passed 10 plus 2, I know about these colleges like HBTU Hart and IET and
Right.
KNIT Sultanpur. These are like few reputed college of UP, right? So I heard about these colleges. So I thought I think I can opt this option MCA, because I
Okay.
have this computer history with me. I think I can I should go for MCA, and let me check like how I can prepare for these competitive programs like UPMC and all that. So I just googled it and found a good coaching, that is INPS classes in Lucknow, and
Okay.
I just reach out to them, and then they told me about this NIT, right? Like
Okay.
you would be really shocked. Like when I was in 10 plus 2, this only term I was familiar with, that was IIT. I
Right.
didn't even know about what is NIT and what like when if you talk in terms of ranking, so where we can place it. So means
And
I was that kind of guy.
yeah, and Shashank, this is the problem with actually a lot of students, and reason being because they are not mentored, or their mentors are not available, and not everybody is that inquisitive that they will go on the internet and search. So many of these things actually happen by
Exactly.
default or by accident, like you got to know about this NIT part.
Right. So, and completely agree. If I would have got a good mentor or good senior who could have guided me about these streams, colleges, then maybe I could have prepared myself in a really well manner, right? But
Right.
anyways, like whatever happens, that happens for something good, right? So I realized, and like then I got to know about this NIT. Like Nitin Agarwal sir, he told me about what NIT is and what its reputation, how like career in like MCA, like you were not able. I told this story to Nitin sir that I was thinking for IIT, I wasn't able to make it. So he said, now this is your chance. Now this is your time. You can crack an IT and you can fulfill your dreams. And like my third year, that was really hectic for me because I have to attend the classes. So the university is like 18 kilometers far from my home, and just because of the financial crunches, I didn't even ask for money to travel via auto. Right, I just asked my father to just bought me a cycle. I'll use that. So I was used of traveling like 18 kilometers to university first, attend the university classes. Then from there, my coaching was around 4 kilometers away from my university, and then like I used to go attend the coaching, and then come back to home and.
So almost 18 kilometers from one side, then 4 kilometers of coaching. So almost around 40 kilometers you were cycling every day.
Yeah, it was every day, even on weekends, because in weekends university was closed, but I had to attend the coaching, right?
Right.
So that amount of pressure, that amount of like effort I have done in my third year, right? So like you could imagine, it was like even sometimes I stopped cycling in between and I cried a lot because that was really unbearable for me. I wasn't able to like handle so many things, but my dream was like I won't give up because I know my family conditions and I have to make it anyhow. Like NIT is now my dream and I'll crack it anyhow. Doesn't matter like what kind of amount, what amount of effort I need to put. I'll put whatever is required. I'll do that. So I did that and prepared really well. I was really focused in my coaching, and I was really fortunate that Nitin sir, he did really well to guide us. Like he was putting a lot of effort to like prepare us for NIMSET, and yeah, this came with very good success. Like my hard work paid off. I got like All India rank 43 in NIMSET, and I could join any NIT. Like there are 11 NITs who conduct MCA program, so I could have joined any NIT. So like NIT Trichy was the best. It was in rank 1. Like top 50 candidates used to get a chance to get into NIT Trichy.
Right.
But again, I compromised. So because NIT Allahabad is like 250 kilometers far away from my hometown, right?
Right.
So at that point of time, again, I compromised with my dreams. Like my dad was comfortable, like whatever is making you comfortable, you can go for it. Like there's no kind of pressure from my side. He was really excited, like he wanted me to join NIT Trichy, but I could feel like my family's emotions, like inside what they were feeling while saying yes, go ahead, go for NIT Trichy, because everybody knows like I would be able to come to visit my hometown like even after 4-5 months, right? So I did a compromisation in that part. I told my dad, if placement is possible from NIT, I can get it from NIT Allahabad and I can get it from NIT Trichy as well. Doesn't matter which NIT. So yeah, these were my thoughts, and I packed my bags, joined NIT Allahabad. First year of NIT Allahabad was really for me because, as I said, in graduation I didn't learn anything useful. I was just passing out my exams. When I got that environment, right, like there were folks who were really like master in coding and master in computer science fundamentals. So I was really scared at that point of time.
Okay.
To like even pass the first semester, like they will tell. So that fear, that I was really scared of that. So
So
I
when
started
you
working.
I'll just ask one question here. So when you joined NIT and you worked your way hard into it, now that you knew that now things would be a bit easier, but then you come to know that there are people who are extremely very good coders, and now actually the competition starts, right?
Yeah,
Making it
I
to
see.
NIT was just one part.
Yeah. So how, like, your curriculum or education system even is really different in our states actually as well, right? So in my batch, there were folks who were from like Delhi, right? Who were from like Bangalore side, and they did their graduation like same stream, BSc Computer Science, and
Right.
they were really good in coding. They were really good in computer sciences fundamental. So I was really shocked, like why this kind of curriculum, or why this kind of. I was saying like when I like within my batch, there were folks who were from like Delhi NCR, who were from like south side, Bangalore side, right? They were really good in like in terms of coding, problem solving skills, and computer science fundamentals, right? So I was really shocked to know like why education system, or why this kind of curriculum is not present in our state. Like the colleges we have, like there are lots of engineering college, private universities, central universities, but they were they were like of no use in this domain, at least like this technical domains. So I was really shocked to know that, and that time I decided like I will work hard and I will learn everything from scratch. I will start from zero. I will do anything to improve myself, and I will compete with these guys, right? So I started working upon that. I started learning all the fundamentals, basic programmings, operating systems, and like databases. So I started like from that point, and like on day by day I improved myself. Like I didn't hesitate on that part. Like BTech guys, like the freshers, they were really good in competitive programming, right? They were attending lots of competitions. They were solving really hard problems. So I was really amazed with them as well, and I was really admiring them. So what, like I used to follow this thing in my entire career. Like whoever can guide you, just reach out to him or her and take advantage of it. Do not think whether that guy is maybe lower in designation or is your junior, right? So I have followed that thing. I was in MCA second year, and those guys, those group were from like BTech first year, BTech second year. I spend lots of day and night with them in order to learn these programming skills and coding skills. So if somebody is following that thing, that thought, obviously in industry we used to learn from smart peers. So just keep this thought in mind, mind that you can learn from your surroundings, and just keep following that.
Exactly, because Shashank, I have also seen that a lot of people hesitate in approaching people, whether it's your colleagues or people who are, who have less experience, maybe because of ego issues, or they're just hesitant. So even this is something that I have also learned, that if you don't ask, you will never know if somebody can help you. So you can obviously go and ask them, and there are many people who are willing to help. For example, even while conducting this interview, I asked you when I was hesitant whether you will come or not, whether people will come. But then you accepted this and started coming for this interview. So until and unless people ask, they are obviously not going to know whether the solution will come. So I think that is something that a lot of people who are into second, third year of engineering, or maybe any other curriculum, can learn from it. That go and ask questions, start approaching people.
Right. I used to recommend this to, like, I used to get lots of messages on my LinkedIn from freshers. So I used to recommend that, like, you can learn from your surroundings. Do not run like here and there, jump onto different platforms, competitive programming. Don't feel that, and don't divert your mind. Just stick to your path, stick with your basics, and your basics are really important. So, like, the general mistakes, the like aspiring students or freshers, what the mistake they made is like they know something, they quickly jump onto the advanced version of it. Like they know about like basic programming, they instantly jump onto solving the like big competitions, Codechef, HackerRank, competitive programming. They forget to learn the basics first. They forget to develop their basic skill set first. So I used to recommend that thing to every fresher or every student. First, make yourself strong in your fundamentals. Learn data structure. Learn why this data structure, where to fit it, what, why it is, like when to use, when to not use, what is the complexity to create it. Learn these fundamentals first, then jump on to other things. That will, because if you are strong with your fundamentals, you can quick, I won't say you can write a code instantly, write a good code instantly, but you can think of a good approach at least if your basics are clear, your fundamentals are clear.
Yeah, it's like building up. When you build a building, the base has to be really strong. Then only you can build the other floors.
Yeah,
so Shashank, how many hours did you use to code when you were in your NIT during those, when you were preparing?
Yeah, so I started the coding part like as I said, in first year I was just learning the things. I was making me strong in this zone, like making fundamentals and basics strong first. So like in my first year, I focused on my basics and fundamentals, and I started for this coding part in my second year. Like there was a platform, Geeks for Geeks, that is really handy and really good for every beginner or college student to learn about problem solving, to prepare about different companies. So that is a really good platform. So I started looking at that. I started from the basic. Like I didn't do that thing like I know array and I know tree, I know graph, so I will start solving question from graph. No, I didn't do that, right? What I did, I started from array. I started its basic questions, then medium level questions, then its advanced version.
Right.
And like I was reading the question and I was trying to solve it first by my own, right? I was writing code on pen, using this pen paper, was trying to write my own approach. And then I was cross-checking it with their solution, like to make sure how far I am or how close I am to this optimized approach.
How much optimized your solution is?
Yeah. So that was the thing I followed, and in parallel, when I was comfortable with this platform or solved like many questions, more than like 500-600 questions of different data structures and algorithms related, then I jumped onto this competitive programming, like solve these challenges on HackerRank, attended some competitions on Spoj, some competitions on Geeks for Geeks, Codechef. So I did that as well. But I won't say that I was a typical competitive programmer guy. I was kind of guy who was much more focused for these basics and fundamentals, because when I was involved with those competitions or programming platforms, so what I felt, since my basics and fundamentals were strong, I was able to think. I was able to solve questions, maybe like not a very optimized one, but I was able to think of a proper approach. So that zone I have focused a lot. So, and this thing I really don't like nowadays, like these young kids are really into competitive programming only. They are really crazy for it. Like I can see a lot of posts like I have this star on Codechef, I have this star on HackerRank. They are really crazy for it. So that's good, and that's really important for a computer science guy to do.
But that is not the first step, right? That will be the second or third step.
That is not the only thing a guy should do, because real world problems and real world solutions that we are creating in industry, that is really different from doing this competitive programming, right? So there are really different subjects who has a really great advantage in IT industry, like database management system, right? Like your entire data, your entire solution is dependent on.
So you were talking about databases. From that part we can start.
Yeah. So as I said, like these young kids basically are more focused on this competitive programming part. Like they are crazy about it and they are doing it like day and night, right? But the real world problems that are really different from this competitive programming, right? So there are some components or there are some subjects which we used to study in our college time that are having a really good weightage in IT industry, like this database management system. So your entire solution is dependent upon that. Networking, like how you are communicating, like your servers and services, how they are communicating, what protocols they are following.
Exactly.
In similar way, operating system, like how you are managing different threads, how you are running your solution, how you are utilizing memories and CPU. These things are really important. So what I would recommend to anybody, doesn't matter is fresher, aspiring students or working professional, try to focus on these areas as well. Do competitive programming, learn about basics, that is really important actually. Do problem solving as well, but give time to those components as well. And nowadays, I have seen folks are just copy pasting the projects. They are picking it up from the internet or they are collecting it from their peers and just showcasing it to the their professors. So guys, don't do that. Don't do that at all. You are not learning anything. So nowadays, doesn't matter you are from ITs, NITs or any tier 3 college.
Exactly.
If you have these skill sets or if you have a really good project from which you have learned many things, then I can guarantee you like no company can reject you. Like there isn't any company, they use to perfect company. Yeah, there are companies who like judge a guy or who shortlist a guy based upon the college tags, but there are, like if you talk about the tech giants, they do not have this culture of IITs, NITs. If you have a skill set, if you have a means good specialization, if you are able to crack the interview, then just do it. You will through the interviews and you will be part of that company.
Yeah, and now Shashank, if you see, because of the coming of technology and YouTube and so many things that have gone online, so even if you are from not, let's say, IIT, NIT or from a very good college, because the amount of resources that are available, even if you want to, let's say, do a course in Java, in C++, there are extremely very good coders who are giving it for free on YouTube. So there is no less availability of options. Options are there, resources are there. The only thing is that you need to understand that it will take time and you need to take that right path rather than taking shortcuts of just doing the courses and, glorifying your LinkedIn profile. Actually start investing and learning the basic fundamentals, I think.
Exactly. Like there are a hell lot of technologies that are booming day by day. So I recommend everybody to explore these domains, and if you are interested, it looks very convincing to you, try to adopt that, try to learn that, and try to create some projects around that. That will like enhance your actual skills. So as you pointed out one thing, the courses, I really agree. Like that, hell lot of thing is available on internet, YouTube, and everything. Like really good blogs, really good vlogs, really good videos available on YouTube. Still, folks are running behind on these paid courses.
Exactly.
So I can tell you, like, I'm a data engineer and I have worked like giant companies, and till now I haven't done even a single course in my life. Right? Okay. Whatever I have learned, that I've learned from my peers, that I've learned from solving real world problems, and I've learned by my own, reading different blogs, reading different solutions, and watching different videos. So that's how I have proceeded. I have, like, if you can check my LinkedIn profile, there are any such fancy courses attached on it, right? That, so I don't know why people are like running behind it and they are crazy about it, just having these some courses and post it on LinkedIn. And I really don't know why the people are doing it. So because learning is not everything if you are not implementing it.
Exactly.
Like that's fine. If you watch some course, you attended some courses, then what's next? I would be really happy if you can create a project on that particular course, and after a few days you are publishing your GitHub link on your LinkedIn post. I would be really happy to see that. I would be really happy to see that certificate on your LinkedIn profile.
Exactly. And that is real learning. You learned something and you actually applied it. Then you know it. Because I think I had a professor and he used to tell that whenever you learned an algorithm or you learn a code, try to implement it, try to make a game out of it, try to make something out of it, so that rather than just completing the assignment, you actually get to know what would be the real world application of it.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
That's really true. Like, if you learn more when you implement it.
Exactly. So Shashank, this was about how you started and then where you did your BCA from, and then the journey in NIT. Now we will come to the part where you actually started working for Geeks for Geeks as a technical writer. So tell us about that part. How did you come to know about Geek for Geeks? What was the process of interview and what was your responsibilities while working as a technical writer?